Father putting it down for us? No, because it wasn't time. Nicodemus was still a Pharisee. It was not Nicodemus that it was given to in the spiritual sense. It was given to us, to everybody. God spoke it out of his mouth. I want you to think about this. This is the book of John. Nowhere does it say that John was standing there listening to Nicodemus ask Jesus the question. How did he know? The Spirit of God said, write down, this is what happened while you were sleeping over there. This man came to me in the middle of the night, and he asked me a question. And being a Pharisee, he tried to figure it out how to do it naturally. Because in the natural, we would put our hands on a lamb and then cut its throat, and our sins would be put on that lamb and they'd be pushed forward. And I wanted to know how to be saved. And obviously you already knew that, because when I walked up to you, you didn't mince words. You said you must be born again. Everybody say God's got a plan. And so we find Jesus explains this. And I love how he gives a glimpse of what's getting ready to happen. Hadn't happened yet. He said in verse 7, he says, marvel not that I said you must be born again. And then he says, look, the wind blows where it lists. And you don't know where it came from or where it's going. I mean, we can do this. And it's coming from that direction. But we don't know that it's not going to go 2 foot this way and then blow back that way. I mean, how's a tornado formed? Yeah. You know, the meteorologists, if you want to call them that, they call themselves that. The predictors of weather. They get satellite imagery and they see the little horseshoe shape and they say, those of you that are in the pathway there, that's the most opportune place for a tornado to come. Why? Because the winds are shifting. And if they finally close around, they'll start shifting and they'll form that tornado and they'll come right down. And so get out of the way, or be prepared to get out of the way. So Nicodemus is given the plan of salvation, but he doesn't understand it. And God said, don't worry, you will. I personally believe that Nicodemus was a Pharisee that was converted to the truth and walked in truth all the rest of the days of his life after the conversion. But here's the disciples, and they're walking with Jesus, and Jesus is telling them what to do and telling them to cast out devils in his name, heal the sick in his name, open blind eyes in his name, and they're doing all these things. This is all part of his plan. I love